husband has constantly lied about his past. I honestly don't know if I'm here to vent or look for advice, but here I am. Also, I'm sure these timelines will be all over the place, so I apologize. I'll do my best to keep it as together as possible. My 26F husband, 27M, has continuously lied about his past. I have never been one to obsess or care deeply about a significant other's past, as long as it doesn't involve my safety, but I do like to know about it. I feel that who you were growing up, what you've been through in life, how your previous relationships were, all defines a person on who they are today. I entered this relationship/marriage with a child, so I obviously have a past as well. My issue here is the honesty portion of it. My husband and I met on a dating app. He was in my state at the time we matched for his job, but lived halfway across the country. We decided to continue talking anyways. He would spend weekends with me when in town. We would meet in surrounding states and get hotels together for the weekend. Then after a few months, he decided to move halfway across the country to my state to be closer to me. In the first month or two of us talking and visiting on the weekends, I was still texting an ex. The conversations were all innocent. I was completely honest with my husband about who said ex was, and once he told me he wasn't comfortable with me texting said ex, I cut ties immediately. This part will come back up, so remember it. From here, I'm just going to bring up the lies he's told without going into full-blown detail because otherwise this thread will take 10 years to read. If there's any questions about the situations, I'll be sure to answer them in the comments. I also want to point out that he has 3 exes who are absolutely obsessed and have reached out to me on all social media platforms with information and advice for me. They are all blocked. I had asked my husband in the very beginning if he has ever cheated on an ex. He said no, never. It wasn't long later that I had an ex of his message me, giving me a heads up that he's a serial cheater. I took it with a grain of salt and confronted him. He denied it and said she was the cheater. Just a few months later, I honestly don't even remember how it came up. He admitted he had cheated on one of his exes, but not physically. Fast forward about a year later and another ex found my Facebook, messaged me, and told me he had also cheated on her and to watch out. She came with screenshots, so there was no denying that one. About 3 months into our relationship, we were going through pictures and videos on our phones reminiscing on old times. Pictures of his deceased father, pictures and videos of my son as a baby, what we look like as teenagers, so on and so on. Well, he stumbled across a video, from before we met, of him and a girl. I think you get where I'm going with that. I was upset it wasn't deleted, but he deleted it immediately. He explained she was a one-night stand, and she had already booked a hotel room, so he just met her there. Well, it has come to light that that's incorrect. He met her while on the road. He bought a hotel room for them, and then they continued to have a relationship together. He flew her all the way across the country to stay with him in his home state. Meet his mother. They traveled to multiple states for weekend getaways. He had bought her a ring. All sorts of stuff. This all came to light by her messaging me on Facebook. I hadn't even ever heard this girl's name, so I was super confused at first. She messaged me to tell me my husband had viewed her TikTok page. Which, okay, cool. Then she went on to introduce herself. And by that, I mean told me who she was to my husband, sent me pictures and videos of them together. Again, some explicit, screenshots of texts he sent her, all sorts of crap. This went on for about 3 minutes before I blocked her because of course I don't want to see any of that. Within a month of us talking, he had sent me a song that he said reminds him of me. He then said he wants it to be our first dance song if we ever get married. That song was carried on throughout our entire relationship and engagement. We would dance in the kitchen to that song. He would play it on my bad days, and then on our wedding day, we had our first dance to that song. A couple weeks ago, I was looking through his Spotify to find a song to play while he was driving, and there was an album on his Spotify that was connected with another girl named Our Wedding Songs, and the song labeled First Dance was the song he had chosen for us. He says I'm being overly dramatic about how upset I am about this, but to me, our first dance meant a lot. And to know that the song we danced to was shared with other women as their first dance song just upsets me. Maybe I am overreacting, but it just sucks. As stated above, in the first bit of our relationship, I was texting an ex, which again, I immediately stopped when he asked. Well, he had gotten a Snapchat from a girl a few months in, and I asked who she was. He responded that she's just a childhood friend and followed up with, but I'll delete her, and proceeded to delete her. I said, if she's just a friend, there's no need to delete her. And he reassured me that they had zero romantic or sexual history. I told him he should read her because there's no reason to cut off an innocent friendship with someone you grew up with for no reason. Well, yesterday he was trying to change his password on his Gmail but couldn't figure out what the recovery email was. I showed him where to find it. It was his childhood friend's email. I didn't think much of it right away, but then when he typed it in, emails popped up immediately. Emails they had sent each other for months or years of pictures of them together, telling them they love each other, videos of them. You get it? All sorts of stuff. When I brought up that he lied, he of course immediately said, "You were talking to your ex in the beginning." I followed up with, "Yes, but I was honest about everything and stopped as soon as you said stop. But of course, it's different and I'm overreacting. There's more stories to tell, but I think you get the point." I try to explain that I don't care who he has slept with, I don't care who he has dated, I don't care how many partners he's had, but lying about it, I do care about. It makes me wonder if I shouldn't have blocked those girls and let them spill the beans. It makes me wonder if he's been faithful to me. It makes me wonder what else is out there that he's been dishonest about. I'm probably overthinking, but it's hard not to at this point. And when I tell him it hurts me that he isn't truthful, he turns it around some way or another. When laying in bed last night, he tried to cuddle next to me and I said, "I just need a bit of space right now if that's okay." He responded with, "Be a BTCH then," and slept on the couch. I'm just wanting to know if I'm being dramatic, if I'm overreacting, if I need to just chill and let it go. In my opinion, little lies may be little, but mean a lot. Any advice, opinions, anything is welcome.